Scrapbook time. So I was in the middle of this George Bush U.S. will avenge deaths article. All right, just talking about speech writing. Okay, he stumbled a couple of times, even as he strove to maintain a commanding air. Aides pushed an American flag and one with the presidential seal behind him for the somber occasion. Huh. Immediately afterward, Bush joined a meeting of his National Security Council and planned to remain overnight at the White House. Bush said the government offices deserted. Bush said the government offices deserted after the bombings Tuesday would open today. The United States received no warning of the attacks on the Pentagon and New York's World Trade Center towers, White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer said. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror, Bush said. Oh. Lines form at the Quick Trip on the Causeway in La Crosse in anticipation of higher gasoline prices because of the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. Was that an overreaction? I'm not sure. Residents rush for the gas pump after attack. Well, maybe I'll read this. The lines of vehicles at stations across La Crosse and on Alaska stretched into the streets, and police were called out to help direct traffic past or into the packed stations. The terrorist attacks in New York and Washington triggered a different kind of panic in the La Crosse area. Tuesday night, a rush of motorists to the gas pumps, spurred by rumors of prices rising to $5 a gallon in other states. Prices at some stations in La Crosse did increase 25 cents a gallon, jumping to $2.02 for unleaded regular. The lines of vehicles at stations across La Crosse and Unalaska stretched into the streets, and police were called out to help direct traffic past or into the packed stations. Tara Masterson, a University of Wisconsin La Crosse student, said she had made the rounds to 3 stations before getting in line at the Quick Trip on Cass Street. I had heard they prices are going up to $6 tomorrow, she said as she pumped. The line behind her was 9 vehicles deep and growing. The one at the other entrance to the station was longer. The run on gasoline Tuesday night prompted La Crosse County Sheriff Mike Weisenberger to issue an advisory Tuesday night that motorists resist the urge to top off the tank. This has created a temporary shortfall in gas available at many local stations, Weisenberger said. Again, we are asking the public to respond to the current situation with cautious calm. Daniel Smith had crossed the bridge from La Crescent, Minnesota, where he said lines were even longer to get gasoline in La Crosse. My wife, my daughter, and me filled up a car. Is that another typo here? Filled up a truck, a car, and another car. Smith said. Those who were waiting their turn or filling their tanks all said they had been prompted by calls from relatives and friends reporting prices of $4 in Minnesota and Iowa and $5 in Illinois and Kansas City. At Sears and Conoco on Cass Street, 17-year-old Joseph Callan was helping the station by directing people through the pumps and trying to head off those who attempted to cut in line. We're also watching for drive-offs, Callan said. Yeah. Waving another car in. People don't have the money, but they figure they have to fill up before the price goes up. Similar scenes occurred in other Wisconsin cities and around the country. Eleanor Becker of La Crescent and others at the pumps were harsh in their judgment of those who might use the situation for profit. Just another way to gouge money out of us, Becker said. There's no reason for it. We're not at war. Gasoline wholesalers and retailers apparently did raise prices in some areas of the country Tuesday, with reports of hikes ranging from 20 to 40 cents to as high as $5 a gallon at scattered stations. But the nation's largest oil companies immediately tried to allay consumers' worries by freezing their prices and pledging to keep distribution steady. We are asking all of our customers to maintain their normal buying habits, ExxonMobil spokesman Tom Quirigliano said late Tuesday. We have ample supplies. We're trying to avoid an artificial shortage. You think, yeah, at the time I was driving, I had a car. I don't have a car now. I have a driver's license, but I haven't driven a car in a very long time, many years. So at the time I was driving, I don't remember any issues with, yeah, there wasn't any issues of running out of gas. Uh, hmm, Maybe it was an overreaction at the time. Um, I have some more things here I'm gonna read. Yep. Gonna have to show this photo here of this person because they took the blame for everything. Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden, once a friend of U.S. The United States has called bin Laden the architect of some of the worst acts of terrorism against Americans. The 1993 attack on the World Trade Center. Yeah, that's the one. I think I heard about that one. I think, unless there was another thing that happened in the 70s, but they're just saying 1993 here. Okay. Um, the 1993 attack on the World Trade Center, the 1998 bombings of two U.S. embassies in Africa, and last year's bombing of the USS Cole. So he was responsible for all of that? Huh. Wow. Stripped of his Saudi citizenship, bin Laden has been hiding for 5 years in Afghanistan under Taliban protection. He has repeatedly called on Muslims worldwide to join in a jihad or holy war and has declared war on the United States in religious edicts faxed to the outside world. All U.S. citizens are legitimate targets, he has said. Well, that's a scary thought. Last spring, bin Laden instructed activists attending a Muslim convention in Afghanistan to prepare the next generation for the jihad, issue a call to the young generation to get ready for the holy war and to prepare for that in Afghanistan, because jihad in this time of crisis for Muslims is an obligation of all Muslims, he said in a statement read at the May gathering. Bin Laden's group met earlier this year with the Palestinian group Islamic Jihad and the Egyptian Al-Ghama al-Islamiyah to put in place a common strategy against the United States. Middle East expert Antoine Steer noted Tuesday, citing European intelligence sources. Bin Laden came to prominence fighting alongside the U.S.-backed Afghan Mujahedin Holy Warriors in their war against Soviet troops in the 1980s. But former friends and followers say he turned against the United States during the Gulf War and began campaigning against America from Saudi Arabia. Disowned by his family, bin Laden, believed to be in his 40s, is said to have moved in early 1996 with a band of followers to Afghanistan, where he allegedly operates several training camps. Oh, what a scary individual. Terrorism is a scary thing. People that are willing to go to such extreme measures for what they believe in. It's very scary. Here's a quote. I'm not sure. Maybe it's another person that lived. Oh, yeah. Um, it doesn't say if they were a fireman or a policeman or anything, but maybe it was just a citizen of New York or someone that was in New York at the time. Okay, so this is a quote. I tried to help them, but they didn't want anyone to touch them. The fire had melted their skin. Their clothes were tattered. Pretty scary to think about that. Well, here's another article here about bin Laden, so I guess I'll read that too. Yeah, there's some more details about what happened here. Okay, this one's titled Bin Laden Focus of Intelligence Probe. U.S. officials began piecing together a case linking Osama bin Laden to the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history, aided by an intercept of communications between his supporters and harrowing cell phone calls from victims. Oh, wow. Aboard the jetliners before they crashed on Tuesday. Oh, wow. That's a scary thought. U.S. intelligence intercepted communications between bin Laden supporters discussing the attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon, according to Utah Senator Orrin Hatch, the top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee. I'm going to stop there.